Good morning, guys. Just thought I'd come on and say I'm still here and give some updates in my journey. So if you watch any of my other videos, you know that I am starting my journey for bariatric surgery. I shouldn't even say starting. It's already been like 6 months already, so this has been ongoing. So I'm going to give the quick updates. Today I completed my 12 weeks of online counseling with a group therapy class through Mayo Clinic. So I've completed that successfully. My next steps are to meet with a counselor, at the end of the month. And then from there, I will meet my bariatric surgeon and have the procedure. So I'm just about done with the beginning steps. Just to kind of keep you updated as well as how I'm doing, I'm about down 20 pounds. Now, that wasn't a requirement. The 20 pounds is, it's like a bonus. They call it money in the bank at Mayo. Absolutely was not required for me to have the surgery. The only requirement that they had weight-wise is that I could not gain any weight. So I've been successful with that. And so today I just kind of wanted to, I guess, share some things that I've learned so far on this journey. And now I will say, granted, I am planning on having the duodenal switch completed. I think these tips are worthwhile for anybody in any journey that they have that's health related, or any, honestly, lifestyle changes. So what was different this go around compared to any other diet that I've tried? It wasn't an all or none. The only goal that I had was to not gain weight. I know that they said when I first started this that soda would be off the table. That's the first thing I gave up. I actually gave that up before I met with any of my providers, and that was pretty hard. That was the only thing I focused on essentially from May to July this year, was just giving up all types of soda, carbonated beverages as a whole. My second goal that I have added consistently, it started with, I would walk 1 minute, only 1 minute, 5 days a week. Now, part of me still says, gee, that's not a lot. That was the point. I needed a goal that was so easy to achieve that I couldn't fail. And so what that did, when I would go for those 1 minute walks, essentially, I'd get down my road, realize, let's just go to the end of the block and then I'll come back. And so I started there and did that consistently 5 days in a row. After a couple weeks, that started feeling really good, and I was like, I want to go just a little bit further. I played some of my favorite music when I did this, which, encouraged me to keep going. And now I'm up to 20-minute walks 5 days a week, which is essentially, to me, that's about a mile. I'm a pretty, I don't power walk. Let's just put it that way. But the point is it all started with 1 minute, 5 times a week. It was so small. At the time, I thought it was almost laughable, but that is what I needed to get started. I always thought, either go big or go home. That is not the way to change your life. So let me just start there. So that was my second thing. So all I did, I gave up pop, started walking, and I pretty much maintained my weight through those 2 steps. But I wasn't restricting. It wasn't like a punishment or anything like that. I had no ill feelings towards what I was doing. Yes, to me, it felt almost like I wasn't doing enough, but looking back, that's exactly what I needed. I needed to have those small attainable goals so that I was motivated, 1, to keep doing them, and 2, that I could kind of build on them. So after I got those done, my third goal was to not eat and watch television. So I cut the screen time while I'm eating, and that was simply to cut out the mindless eating. Now, what that did, it actually upped my activity, because it was almost like I didn't want to sit and watch TV if I didn't have something else to do. In fact, very rarely can I just sit, unless it's something that I'm super, super interested in. I can't just sit there. And so to take away the eating, it ended up increasing my overall steps throughout the day anyways. And on top of that, I wasn't just mindlessly eating, which I think significantly cut back probably on my calorie intake. And so there, again, I lost a few pounds that way. I had to be super mindful of. Initially, it was like I did just the 5 days, and then the last two I would sit. But eventually, that's just grown to I prefer not to sit and eat in front of a screen at this time. I just realized there's other stuff that I'd rather do, and I don't like doing it. So, to each their own. But I still have my goal as being 5 days a week, because I do know sometimes family movie nights come up. Like, yeah, maybe I want to sit there and eat popcorn with my family. I'm not going to say no to that. It's just 5 days out of the week, I will not do that. So if I've already done it too, we're not going to keep doing it. So I got those 3 things done. I quit the pop, started walking, stopped eating in front of a screen, and then the 4th goal that I started was tracking my intake for 3 days a week. Now, I know that there's a huge correlation between tracking and how you do with long-term weight loss success. So that is something that I need to get in the habit of. Sometimes if I was eating something that wasn't the healthiest, I didn't really want to track it because it felt, that I was admitting defeat. I don't know how else to say it. I think it's that dieting mindset. Whereas I tried to make it as neutral of a thing as possible. It didn't matter what I ate, just track it. And again, with everything else going on, it did help me to say no. Like if I was really close to getting my calorie goal, which I use, I guess disclosure, I use MyFitnessPal. I only have it so that my calorie goal is at losing half a pound a week. I know anything more than that, I feel too restricted and I'm likely to binge. I have it so that I'm just barely losing. And so with that, as I'd get close to my daily calorie goal, if I wasn't really hungry, I wouldn't eat it. It just made me a little bit pickier about what I had. Again, nothing was off the table, nothing is off limits, and the goal is to do that for 3 days a week. That one I struggled with. It took me a few weeks to actually get to the 3 days a week, and finally I was tired of reporting off goal not met, or partially met is really what it is. You look at the positive side and say I met a certain percentage of it, so it's better than what it was. But finally, last week, I was like, I'm going to say I met my goal about it in our next meeting. And so I did it the whole week. With that, I've had, more success this past week. But what I'm here to say is that I started this process back in May, and my weight stayed the same. And as these changes gradually build on each other, my weight loss is kind of snowballing. It's increasing. And so that's a positive effect of it. But it wasn't like, and when I say painful, I mean, it wasn't super hard to change. It wasn't like I have to grit my teeth and use nothing but willpower to instill these changes, and this is what I'm going to do all at once. Again, that all or nothing thinking. I finally did little tiny measurable goals that I could count on each week. In fact, Mayo recommends that, when you make your goals, that you're, I want to say 75 to 90% accurate. I could be wrong, sorry. But they want to make sure that you're at least 75% sure that you can make these goals. They want you to be successful. And again, the goal ultimately at this point in my journey was not necessarily to lose the weight, but to start instilling these healthy habits for my lifestyle change. And so that's the big takeaway today, is do one little thing. And I know that you might not even see the results on the scale right away, but you will. And again, even if it's not weight loss related, take those tiny steps. Eventually it will pay off. You will see the dividends, that you earn with those goals. So I challenge all of you, just try one little thing today and keep at it, and when that becomes, a routine part, then add something else. And it's okay to go slow. It's okay to go slow at this.